Hey, this is Don from Padlock Technologies again with another video. Little under the weather, but I got to get this out because somebody asked me a question on it. And since my voice is back, I'm able to do this video. So, somebody asked me a question about SSL decryption on Fortinets. Now, I've done SSL decryption on actually on FTDs. I'll put that video up here. And I did SSL decryption on Palo Alto. I'll put that video up here again. So you can watch how to do SSL decryption on, the FTD or the Palo Alto platform. Now, I'm going to say out of all three versions of next generation firewalls, now I haven't did the checkpoint either. I might do a video on that. Put a comment if you want me to do that on checkpoints. So out of all three vendors, SSL decryption on FortiGates is probably the easiest one to do. Just like a lot of other things on the FortiGate firewall, it's a lot easier. So for those people who are trying to learn their first firewall, again, if you learn a next generation firewall, you pretty much know all of them. You just have to know how they do it in that vendor's platform, but you got to know the concept, right? Always know the concept because you can always take that concept to another vendor. AKA, like if you know OSPF, BGP, that stuff, well, it's not going to change when you get to another vendor. So as long as you understand the underlying concepts, you can learn any vendor's product. But that's a side quest there. Let's look at the lab. Now, this is my mega lab as usual. I'm probably going to do a video. Someone asked a request for me to go over the stuff that I have in the lab. So I'm probably going to do a video of what this lab looks like, some of the images I'm using and stuff like that, and how everything's hooked up. So I'll put a video out soon. If you want to see that video if you want to see that video, just put in a comment that you're interested in seeing how this looks. But this mega lab will have all Palo. So this is the Palo Alto lab that y'all saw before, but this also has FortiGates, checkpoints, and I believe that's the only other firewall I have in here. So it's mainly Palo. I have active passive turned on right now, and I have active that I didn't configure yet. And the stuff when I was showing you about the Microsoft Global Secure Access, I have a video, two videos on that. I'll show you the intro video for private access. I'll put that up here. I have a connector in here again that's going to connect me to ICE and some other things. But I also am able to SSH into these switches down here because I added the subnet to that. And now I can SSH in that. So what we're going to mainly focus on here is the Palo Alto firewalls over here. Now, like I said before, SSL decryption is pretty easy to do on a FortiGate firewall. Now, this is going to be outbound SSL decryption. That means you don't own the server certificates. You're going to be re-signing this. So this is basically the man-in-the-middle attack on the firewall. That's basically what SSL decryption is, man-in-the-middle attack. But you're going to be re-signing with the certificate that is on the FortiGate firewall. Now, on the back end, if your user machines don't trust the certificate, you will get the certificate warning. So you have to make sure if you're going to do this that your machines actually trust this cert. If not, you're going to run into some problems. So let's go into the FortiGate, and then I'll show you how to set that up, and then I'll show you an example of what SSL decryption looks like once it's behind the FortiGate firewall. So if you notice here, this FortiGate setup is a little different than my last FortiGate video. This is still doing HA, but we're using the concepts of virtual domains or VDOMs. Right now, I'm in the global VDOM, but the SSL decryption is in the root VDOM. If you want me to do a video about VDOMs and all that good stuff, put it in the comments and I'll make a video about VDOMs. But what you will see is, look at the status. This is basically the global VDOM. Nothing really spectacular here. The main settings are here. And obviously, if I go to VDOMs, you see I have one root VDOM. Again, if you want to make a video on VDOMs, we'll talk about VDOMs. But let's go into the root VDOM where everything is. And we'll jump into the root VDOM. And as you can see, I got a whole bunch of stuff running on this firewall here. And I kind of created this. Now, let me sidetrack about FortiGate a little bit. Not going to lie, FortiGate GUI is pretty cool, right? When you really start messing with it and you start seeing all the stuff and information that it can give you, it's pretty cool. So I mean, this is way better than Like when I first learned FortiGates, this was not the OS that it was on. It was a archaic OS. So I am so glad that they went and adjusted and gave you a way better experience. Now for the manager, that's a different thing. Again, I'm probably going to do videos on Fortinet Manager as well, but I'm glad they fixed the OS, especially when it comes to stuff like this. I really think this is cool. This security fabric stuff, like to see this in the FortiGate now is pretty awesome. I gotta wait till it actually shows up. But you start seeing like a physical topology, you can get a logical topology. Like this is pretty cool. Like you can see internet goes into my primary FortiGate. You can see this is one of the machines that are connected through DHCP. And if we go through a logical topology, it gives you the same thing. I know this is a lot of side questions because the main thing is SSL decryption, but I really wanted to give a shout out to FortiGate for Fortinet for fixing their OS to actually be one of the better, GUIs that I've seen in the market. So with all that being said, let's talk about SSL decryption. So you want to go to your security profiles and you want to go to SSL decryption or inspection. Now this is the policy that you got to create, right? This is the flat out, here's what you need to do. You need to create this policy. But before you create the policy, you need to actually do the certificate. So you go to systems and then certificate. Now I already created the certificate, but just like any other SSL decryption kind of functionality, you need to do a CSR and then you need to go get it signed. And that's what I did. So you create your CSR by going to generate the CSR. You put in this information. Now, the one thing from a domain name perspective, put the fully qualified domain name. Don't put, because my certificate just has my domain in it. And then when I look at the re-sign, I'm like, oh, that should actually be the fully qualified domain name. You go through all of this, you fill out, this is just the, CSR information that you would fill out. You do not need a password for the private key. You don't really need that. So you can just forget that. And then you hit OK and then you get it signed. Once you get it signed, what you do is you go back to here and you go to certificate. Now the third option is what you're going to pick. You can do Lex Encrypt, but you don't need to do that if we're doing an internal CA. And you do your import, and then you import your certificate and hit create. When you do that, it will give you the certificate here, which is what I just said, FortiSSL Decrypt. That's the certificate. If I double click on that, and give me some more information here. Obviously, this is the stuff that I filled out. This is the CA that signed it. That's my internal CA. And then obviously we got a bunch of constraints. Once that's done, now you go back to your profile. So you go to security profiles and then your SSL SSH encryption or inspection. Now, I'm not just going to do cert validation. I'm going to do full SSL decryption. Now that you can copy this deep inspection or create your own, you just hit create new, and then you can pick your whatever you want. You give it the name. Now, the difference is you're not protecting an SSL server because that's inbound encryption. Multiple clients connected to multiple servers, that's outbound encryption. Now you got two methods. You can just do the certificate inspection or full SSL. I suggest you do full SSL, and then you got to pick the certificate that you created. So I created, in my other one, I just created you select Fort or whatever you created, whatever name. And you can pretty much leave everything else the same unless you want to really go in here and add other things to it. Now, the exemption list obviously is things that you want to block or you want to exempt from being inspected because there's certain things from a legal standpoint you should not be inspecting or doing SSL decryption on. And most of that is finance, banking, health and wellness, personal privacy stuff because you don't want to be on the wrong side of a privacy uh, suit, right? You don't want to be civilly sued for any kind of craziness. You don't want to be in civil court for that. And then you pretty much leave all this. You can, go through this if you want to do it and make your custom adjustments, but most people don't do that. And now you have your profile here. Now, if you know anything about on the FTD, it's a decryption policy. On the Palo, it's a decryption policy. With this, because I'm not using policy based because you could do profile based or policy based. I believe this is profile based. Everything is going to be in the profile. I mean, in the security policy. Sorry. So when I go here, when I mean security policy, when I actually show you the internet policy, yes, use the new layout. When you see the internet policy, which is my default internet rule, you're going to see that you can do NAT, you can add your profiles, all that good stuff. Now, on policy base, and you do usually, the last time I showed you this, I was using like centralized SNAT and stuff like that. That's not the case here. When I did the VDOMs, it didn't even give me an option to do centralized NAT. So now everything from a NATing perspective has to be done within the firewall policy. So if I go to my default internet policy, obviously this is bad. This is bad firewall policy posture because normally I wouldn't allow all services, right? I would just do the services that is needed for just the internet. But for this demonstration, I just did all, right? So again, NATing is now done within the policy compared to a centralized NAT menu in the FortiGate, like I showed you in the FortiGate overview video. If you didn't see that, I'll put that video up here. Obviously, we got our security profiles. I just got them all for default right now. And last but not least, we got the SSL inspection, which I'm using my decryption profile, which uses the SSL certificate that we generated and added to the FortiGate. Once you add that in there and you hit OK, you're pretty much done. All right. Everything is here. It'll give you this warning. Again, it always gives you this warning. Hey, if you don't trust the certificate, you're going to get a certificate warning. So FortiGate's trying to make sure you know, hey, if you turn this on, you better trust the certificate. So now that everything's a go there, let's go back and we will go to this machine, which is machine 2. And we will sign in here. And let's close this out. And let's open up a new browser. And I'm just going to go to like NBA.com or something, which is already here, I believe. Now, once this goes through, now I also have an SSL VPN, or not SSL, a site-to-site VPN, route-based VPN tunnel going to the Palo. That's probably going to be my next video, so stay tuned for that on how to do site-to-site VPN between Palo Altos and FortiGates. So if we go through here and we look at the certificate, as you can see, it's issued by, now again, my certificate, the FQDN was, I just put plt.com, which I normally do SSL Decrypt whatever.com. So again, just be careful what you're naming it so it makes sense. But as you can see, this is the re-signing of the SSL certificate, the man in the middle attack, and the re-signing of that certificate so that it can inspect the traffic, right? And if you look at the certificate path, you'll see that this is my internal CA, this is the sub CA, and this is obviously the certificate that got re-signed. And again, I forgot to mention, when you do your CSR and you do the certificate signing, you have to get it signed as a sub CA certificate. If you do not do that, SSL decryption will not work. So hopefully that answered your question. This is SSL decryption on FortiGate firewalls in a nutshell. If you like videos like this, you want to see more cool stuff about FortiGates or just firewalls in general, the ones I do, the ones, I would say FTDs is probably my bread and butter, Palo, Fortinet, Checkpoint, and that's it. I'm not even touching SRXs. I haven't done SRXs in so long. I started out with Screen OS, so I haven't touched Juniper stuff in a long time. But if you like stuff like this, don't forget to share, comment, like, and subscribe to the channel. My channel is growing. I appreciate every view, every subscribe, everything I get. If you send an email to questions@padlocktech.com, I do answer them. I believe the video that I was saying about the lab, that was a question that came in from email. So I do answer my emails. So keep them coming, whether they're in the comments or through emails. This is Don from Padlock Technologies again. Thank you and have a nice day.